Imagine this. You wake up in pain. You look over and notice a large blood stain on your bed. Your day is ruined. Now you have to wash your sheets and you feel horrible. But you get up. You have things to do. You go to your bathroom to get a pad, and there aren't any there. And you wonder if you have enough money to buy more. You're stuck. You don't know what to do. You can't go out because you have nothing to control your bleeding, but you have to go out. You have things you need to do. You're expected to just act normal. You're expected to ignore the pain and the horrible sick feeling. You're expected to just suck it up, and you can't tell anyone. Pretty scary, right? Now imagine a week of this every month for about half of your life. Women all around the world are victims of period inequality, which puts them in almost this exact situation. So you're probably wondering, what is period inequality? Simply, it is the unfair or unequal treatment of the idea of menstruation and of people who menstruate. So now I know some of you are thinking, why should I care about this? This doesn't affect me. Well, even if it doesn't directly affect you, it definitely has an impact on the people in your life. Period inequality is a serious problem, and if we don't address it immediately, it will cause a wider gap in gender equality, as well as place unfair burdens on specific socioeconomic groups. And even if it's not such a big problem now, if it goes ignored, it will become much worse. One of the main causes of period inequality is period poverty. This is a lack of access to sanitary menstrual products, proper sanitation facilities, and adequate education about menstruation. Period poverty is caused by things like the pink tax, which is a tax on women's hygiene products named after their stereotypical pink color. Periods are expensive, and period poverty can prevent women from going to school, work, or even leaving their houses while on their periods. It is estimated that the average woman spends $4,752 on pads alone in her lifetime. If period products are only provided to those who can afford them, women in lower income families are at a greater disadvantage. Another cause of period inequality is period stigma. This is the idea dictated by society that periods are gross and disgusting and that they are something to be ashamed of. This stigma is caused by how menstruation is talked about and how it is taught, and it can have horrible consequences. It can cause women to feel ashamed and even grow to hate a natural thing their body does. It can also cause negative psychological disorders, as well as cause internalized misogyny. Now, there isn't one magical solution that can fix this, but if we implement a bunch of little solutions, over time they can have a big impact. Schools are an important factor in young people's lives, and their failure to properly educate their students about their bodies can cause fear and confusion, and in turn leads to period inequality. Unfortunately, AJA is part of this problem. AJA does not provide adequate education on this topic, and the educational programs it has had in the past have not been sufficient. To remedy this, I plan to organize an educational program for the middle school students where they get together with the high school students and they can ask questions about anything. By doing this, we can create a more open environment where people are encouraged to ask questions and feel safe doing so. This would help to reduce the stigma surrounding menstruation, as well as educate the younger students. The school also does not provide pads in the high school. I would like to work with the administration to consistently keep pads in the high school girls' bathroom. By doing this would make menstruation a lot easier for the high school students, because they wouldn't have to worry about not being able to come to school if they can't afford pads, or having to leave school because they forgot to bring a pad. And although most students do bring their own pads, just having support from the school would make it a lot easier. Finally, we can all be a part of the solution. By speaking about menstruation openly and comfortably, we can erase some of the shame and taboo that society has placed on menstruation. Period inequality is a serious problem and can have horrible consequences, such as unequal treatment, educational gaps, bullying, shame, and mental health issues. Handling menstruation in a safe manner should not be a luxury for only those who can afford it. We don't question that everyone deserves access to clean drinking water, yet many people don't necessarily think menstruation deserves a similar right. By properly educating, offering support, and normalizing menstruation, we can help to combat the negative effects of period inequality.
middle school, and AJ has it planned out that the 5th grade is also included in the middle school. Do you or do you not think that they should be included in the education process?
I think that they definitely should be included in that educational program because they're like 10 or 11 years old. That is around the time when you can have your first period. As well as I think that it's important to know about menstruation before you have your first period. I think it's important to understand what's going to happen so that you're prepared for later in middle school when you get your period so that you're not scared and confused.
Do you have examples or suggestions on how to have conversations to destigmatize menstruation within our own peer groups?
I think that has to start by like really everyone has to educate themselves on this topic, and once everyone has a good like understanding and proper education on this topic, that will help a lot with just like making it like more normal, as well as not making it seem as like a joke or like making fun of your friends for being on their periods, or like if someone's not like if someone's crying, be like, oh, is she on her period? Like that, those kind of comments can be very hurtful. And if people make those comments, you can even go and tell them, hey, that's not nice, or that's not like something you should be saying, and that can really help to normalize it.
And we have one more here. Okay.
Also brief.
Is it my turn? Okay. You touched on this a little bit and bouncing off of what Sivan has asked. Would this be a all gender type of education for everybody? And do you think it could be an option to have menstruation products in the men's and women's bathrooms, as men also cannot have their periods?
Yeah, I think that it's important for people of all genders to receive proper sex education. I think that it's important for the students to know how they're know about their bodies. I don't know if I know that not all women menstruate and that not all people that menstruate are women, but I don't know the people that are like that in this school, and I wouldn't want to out anyone or make them uncomfortable by doing that. And I don't know if the boys at the school would take having pads in their bathroom seriously, or if they would treat it as a joke, and if it would be a waste of money.
I just noticed in our prayer book that we use that they edited out in English the reference to period. I'm just volunteering myself. If you want to talk about the discussion of periods in our liturgy, that I'd be willing to talk to you about that.
Ooh.